Welcome back to Drive 615. My name is Byron. I've had this 2021 Nissan GT-R Premium for the past week as a press vehicle from Nissan. They've invited me over to their North American headquarters in Franklin, just 10 minutes from our house, to meet up with a product planning team member, and he's going to give me an overview of the GT-R. So let's go ahead and head over there now and see what's up. All right, guys, we're just a couple moments away from the North American headquarters. We will check back in momentarily. We have arrived. Quite the big facility they've got over here in Franklin. Take a look at that. Looks so pretty on this cloudy day with the big red Nissan logo up there, shining bright. So we're gonna pull up in here to number 3 and meet the guys. So it's opening up. Ooh, pretty cool. What's going on, guys? How you doing? Check out that, guys. Like a Nissan Race Car over there. And they say they're gonna have me pull up in front of this GT-R over here. Check it out, guys. We got all these 350, 370. Look at this. This is very, very cool, guys. There she is. They're gonna meet with me here in a moment. He's gonna give me an overview on it, but take a look at this. This is just pretty cool seeing all this stuff. Never been back here before. All right, guys, so I am here with
Julio Vitti, Senior Manager, Product Planning for Sports Cars at Nissan North America.
Perfect, and we're gonna take a look at this 2021 GT-R that I've had the past week as a press car. Julio's gonna give me a full overview of it, and we're gonna take a look at the exterior, the engine, and then hop inside and take a look at some of the interior features. So let's go ahead and kick it right off with the exterior.
This is one car that we have proud, because Nissan put here a lot of efforts and craftsmanship to create a perfect performance machine. So you can see here in the overall shape, the car, you have a perfect coefficient of drag that's only 0.26. So this is prepared in the wind tunnel, dynamic wind tunnel, so you have a perfect airflow that helps aerodynamic, but also helps for the handling and the drag of the car. So we start in the front, you can see here, since a couple years ago, we made a minor change. You have a new bumper, a new front end, a new headlamps, all designed not only for the beauty, but also for the performance. We have the LED lights, all parts, the front spoilers, and critical things. Everything that form follows function here. So you can see that basically, this is for design, this is for beauty, but also all the air comes to cool the engine. The air also flows to cool the brake system. You can see here in the forms that all this helps the aerodynamic in order to have a perfect flow, but also without disturbing the airflow here to the rear, because you need a effective rear wing to help with the handling with the rear part. So the car basically is scoped by the wind. So great points about this car. First is about the engine. It's a very special engine. This engine here in this unit has 565 horsepower, and this allows a great performance. This is combined with 6-speed dual clutch for a very quick shift, and you can control by it in manual or automatic modes.
Speaking of, let's go ahead and take a look. You want to go ahead and pop the hood, and we'll take a look at exactly what he's speaking to, because this is absolutely an incredible engine, and all the airflow that he mentioned is definitely necessary to cool it. That is absolutely for sure. So you want to speak to a couple of maybe the unique features of this engine compartment?
Exactly. This is a V6 3.8 engine with 2 turbos that have 565 horsepower, and this engine is assembled by hand. So only special people who knows how to insert the cylinders, how to make every part in the detail, are able to do this engine. We call them Takumi. They do this in a very clean room. And you can see here, each one of them sign up for the engine. You have the plate here with the name of each Takumi. So this one here, Aoyama-san, prepared this engine in order to assure the perfection in the details, to assure that every one of those units comes without any issues. We come with the level of quality that's amazing. Yeah. So you see here, the position of the engine is behind the front axle. This helps in the handling and also in the weight distribution. The 2 turbos are cooled for the intercoolers, so you have efficiency in all the conditions. Those engines have a very high spooling turbos, so You can see here the dual camshafts also as part of this. The details about the air intakes, when the air comes, we have the beautiful colors. So all this based in technology where we have a great efficiency. One important part as well, you can see the air ducts are functional. Can you see here?
Oh yeah,
So
absolutely. It just kind of comes right down.
So you're gonna show it later. Those air intakes here helps the air to flow inside and the air go inside and helps to cool the engine. So they are basically functional, or it's important to cool when you have the admission of the air, because a cooler air helps for a better combustion and more power. So everything here is about performance, but performance is important with control. So all this power that goes through the 6-manual transmission, the dual clutch transmission, uses also an important all-wheel drive system, a Nissan Ateza all-wheel drive system. This is a fantastic system because if you go slow, you can have 100% of the power in the rear, but the computers analyze the situation, the handling, the steering wheel, the G-forces, and how you're going the throttle in order to distribute the power in the front and the rear. This is one of the secrets of the great stability of this car. So in order to go fast, you need to stop fast as well.
Absolutely.
Another important point you can see here, Byron, is about the brakes. All the brakes are system prepared by Brembo, designed exactly for the GT-R. So those allows a perfect braking and safety. And important point, you can see in the wheels. Those wheels are 20-inch race wheels, forged, so they are much lighter. So this allows a lower unsprung mass for even better handling and performance. And you can see the beautiful design of the wheels.
Absolutely.
They help also to cool the brakes. And you know, everything's in the details. When I was discussing with the engineers in Japan, during one of my meetings there, they told me that the design of the wheel is like this because allows, when the car stops for a pit stop on the track, this helps in order to change the tires quicker.
Interesting.
You can grab this and remove and get a new tire and new wheel and put very quickly.
That's fascinating. I would have never guessed. I mean, the wheels look beautiful in my opinion. I love the stance of this car. But that's interesting. This is functional for being able to get it off on the track a lot quicker. That's pretty cool little tip there. I appreciate that.
Exactly. So always in these details. If you remember, and when you launched the first GT-R, we have a small kink here for a beauty of design.
Sure.
And then during the testing in the tunnel, we find out that that small kink caused like a 1% more drag. And the engineers say, we need to change that. We need to make perfect. So made the surface for a better flow and get better airflow here for the stability and handling for the rear wing.
I mean, it looks beautiful, honestly. I mean, I think it looks great, and if it serves a better purpose, then why not go for it?
And you can see here the beauty of the details. All the circle of the rear tail lamps format come from many generations of the previous GT-R. This is an heritage element that we want to keep. But one thing that I love is talking to the engineers in Japan is how they go for perfection every single detail.
Sure.
They have different departments working the car, and you know, we talk about those parts and mechanics, but the important detail is about the muffler and exhaust system.
Absolutely.
It's pure titanium for two reasons. One, efficiency for better airflow. Also, for it's lighter. Titanium is a very, very special material. And for the design purpose, you can see here this beauty blue color. Why is that? Because this is how the metal looks when you have an extremely high temperature.
Sure.
So to show this, like you know, when you are in high performance mode or on fire, that's the color it should be. But you have this all the time. It's like a statement. Even when, so I like to make a joke that even when the GT-R is stopped, is in idle, you know, it looks like it's going very fast.
Absolutely, and I love the look of that, and I love the sound of it. So I've actually been out driving this for the past week for my review, and you hear some good like down pops on it whenever you're downshifting. You know, this kind of, and it doesn't seem to be. It's kind of random when it does it. You don't really know when it's going to do it, but it's got a great sound to it. You know, I guess.
Exactly.
You want to maybe speak a little bit to how it was kind of designed for sound, at least, I guess.
Yes, that's a great point. So you know, you need one thing is you have a lot of computers in this car, but it's very essential that the driver or the pilot feels the emotion, feels connected to the road. So in order to feel that, two key elements. One is the perfect steering, transmitting the whole details of the tarmac, so you know exactly where you are on grip. This is helped by the perfect suspension.
Sure.
You have this electronic suspension with built-in shock absorbers that is controlled individually. So this is one way to feel. But what about the sound?
Yes.
There's a button inside the car that you can control to make less louder or more louder, like we are in the track mode. Okay. And this combined with some acoustic, internal acoustic that can monitor the sound and eliminate the booming. That's not good for you to enjoy and to feel, and enhance the sound of the exhaust. Absolutely. So this gives us a great feeling for the driver and also for the passenger.
Absolutely. Speaking of, let's go ahead and hop inside. I'll be the passenger, you be the driver, and you go ahead and maybe show me that button that you were referring to, and then also show my viewers how to set up launch control in this gorgeous, gorgeous car. So we join in inside. Now let's see that button that you were talking about. Fires up to life.
So there's a small button here. You see, now this is the silent. Okay. Now I'm gonna press the button. It opens. You can see that's more.
Oh wow. Absolutely. I'll get a couple revs back here. Can you do one with the button off and one with the button on? This is gonna be with the button off. All right, we'll do the button on now. Get some more depth. Sweet, that's a good tip. I didn't even realize myself that that's where the button was. So now, exactly. If you can show me how to set up launch control, or maybe just touch some, before we do that, if you want to touch on anything on the interior that is worth noting.
Yeah, that's a great point. One thing that we love with this car, everything is designed for the driver. So you can see the steering, you can get a perfect control, you can adjust the steering properly here. So for the distance, for the height, and you can see that the cockpit moves together. So the driver always has the perfect visibility of the instrument panel and the tachometer and all those details.
I noticed that as well when I was doing that the first time I did it. Normally you just expect the steering wheel to raise up, but when the actual instrument cluster moved along with it, I thought that was a really interesting point, and it's, to your point, that's good for visibility. Just because the steering wheel moves, you need everything you're looking at to move as well.
An important point is here, this instrument panel. Since of the launch of the car, this was developed with Polysonic. So with the same guys that made this for the PlayStation, for the Gran Turismo. Yeah. That's a legend. And more important, you can customize that. Sure. So if you say, oh, okay, I want to change the functions, you say, okay, I have the turbo boost, but let me select as well, I want the oil temperature to be together. Sure. And this one here, I want to have the transmission oil pressure. So you can have like a one mode where you have the turbo boost and the oil temperature, oil press, because those three are some of the most important to be used to monitor the engine when you are on the track. Absolutely. If you want to change the mode, this is what I call, mode handling, because this is a G meter. Sure. When you have the time and when you make the corners, this shows exactly how much G force you have in the corners and also in the acceleration and in braking. So you can monitor your performance in the track, how much you are going fast. Here also you can see I put the throttle, you have a 100%, so you can see how much percent you are applying that corner in order to be quicker. So this helps. This is the braking. Interesting. So you can do that with the car turned off. Actually, it's still being able to apply the amount that you're pushing on the brake and the accelerator. That's interesting. Exactly. So number 3 here is another combination. You can see your speed. You have the number 4. You can see the torque split. Sure. This one here, you can see if you are in the rear-wheel drive mode, or depending on the corner, the car is transferring more power to the front, so you are in all-wheel drive. Interesting. I didn't realize that was you could see that there, so that's pretty cool. So it could literally change from one to the other, just from one. If you're going like a roundabout or something, it could instantly like change just like that. Exactly. This is one here is very important. When you are on the track, this is the speedy mode. So imagine that you are in a racetrack and you start your lap. So you want to see if you are faster in this lap than the other one. You can have the buttons here. You see, I press the button.
Yes.
Here in the steering wheel, you don't need to take a look. You don't need to press here because you're on the track. So you press the button here. Okay, complete the lap. So you know your partial lap.
Interesting. So it's kind of like a ghost lap. So you can see on the next run, you see if you can beat that, and just that's really cool that you have the hands-on capability. So you can just focus on driving, and you don't have to like fumble around with all the different modes. That's a pretty cool little shortcut there.
Exactly. So you see, it's like a race car for the street. It's perfect. It's thinking about every detail. When I talk with Tamura-san, that's the chief engineer, we call him like a Mr. GT-R. So he tell me every detail, even this that he used to make the gear changes. The ergonomics are perfect.
I've noticed that, absolutely.
You're never going to slide the hand. You have some traction here, very efficient. You're never going to miss a gear. So you can see here the support for your thumbs for the perfect driving position. So this is what designed for people who really enjoy cars,
sure.
People who go fast and test this all the time.
Absolutely.
But there are some details, Byron. If you want to enjoy the car, you know, you put in more calm mode here. You press the menu, you have also, let's see here. If you connect your phone, you can have, I don't have my phone connected here, but you can put Apple CarPlay.
Sure.
So you can have all the modern functions, you just need to connect your phone here. One important point for performance. This is a car to extract the maximum of the driver ability and to go fast. So let me turn on here. You have the 3 modes. Can you see here those 3 buttons?
Yes.
They control automatically. This is the transmission. So if I put here, I just turn it in R mode.
Okay.
That means that the gear we're gonna be changed in the maximum mode. You can put the full throttle and change the gear. It goes to the rev limiter.
Sure.
And we're gonna change very fast. This one here is about the suspension. When I put here on R, you can see all the shock absorbers. The computer knows that you want to go fast. They're gonna go for stiff mode to assure the car not gonna lean, and you're gonna extract the best performance. And here you are putting the vehicle VDC or vehicle dynamic control and the mode that allows you to explore more of the car. So when you put those 3 buttons in this R mode, and I put in manual mode here, you can see.
So you've just popped it over to the right now on the gear selector.
So what I would do, I cannot do here inside, but I hold the brake, I rev the car to the limit,
okay,
and I put full throttle, and the car will go to 0-60 before you blink your eyes. This you need to hold,
absolutely,
because you're gonna face a, you know, one exciting acceleration.
Absolutely,
this
absolutely.
Is like how we call fantastic mode.
For sure. Can you do it? Can you also do it in automatic mode as well, or do you have to be over in manual?
It's more fun when you're doing manual, you know, because you control when you're gonna change the gear.
Sure, sure. So Julio gave us an overview of the exterior. We hopped inside, looked at the engine, and we also took a look at some of the interior features. You said you've also got a quick story for us here about the background of it as well.
That's right, Byron. We talk about the body, we talk about the heart of this car, but I just want to mention also about the soul, because this car has soul. And I was trying to find out why. When I was in Japan, you know, in the Fuji Speedway, in the Nismo International Festival, that, you know, but a lot of fans of Nismo, GT-Rs and Zs of the Japan and also all the world. The most important point for me was hang out with the guys with the Mr. Tamura-san, which you call Mr. GT-R.
Right.
And I was amazed because he knows basically all the suppliers. You know, he knows the guys of the Hayes who make the wheels. They drive together. So he knows the guys from Brembo. He knows the guys who make the turbos. The J-Ready guys who make his performance parts. So all of them enjoy the car culture. They all race together. They all go to the track. So basically, it's like a community who has passion. And when it comes to about to make this car, to design this car and build this car, they bring all this, you know, passion of the racing and to drive, and they bring every element. And that moment, talking to all that community to enjoy the performance, who works and make this car reality, I can see how they put this and give this car a real soul that you only enjoy when you're driving. So I think that was fantastic.
Absolutely. No, I mean, it kind of ties it in nicely. And again, I appreciate you taking the time to go over this with me. I've enjoyed driving it for the past week, so you guys can watch the full review on that. But this was, you know, a good opportunity to get some good insight and some good details from someone who knows a lot more about the car than I do for sure. So thanks again, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Real fast too, you guys may have noticed this one lurking in the background. This one's kind of special. You want to give us a little insight on this, and then we'll take a look at that C-pillar too that you were talking about as well.
This is a very important car because 2007 is one of the first built for the new generation of the GT-R that we call R35. So basically this car was brought to the Tokyo Motor Show. This unit came for LA, for the LA Motor Show, and it's very important because this R35 generation represents the renaissance of Nissan.
Absolutely.
And I never forgot because I was there in Tokyo in 2007. And then one of the greatest moments, everybody got together for the presentation of this car when it was unveiled. And in the screen, everybody saw this car in camera becoming the fastest production car in Nürburgring and making the circuit in less than 8 minutes.
Wow.
Beating Porsche and becoming a legend.
Absolutely.
So you can see that unit came from Japan. It's right-hand drive.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
It's one of the first ones. It's a fantastic car which has such story.
Absolutely. And real fast here, this was that part here that you're talking about that on this one they've since updated to cut down on the drag, but a little bit of that crease that you said that now that they've since
exactly. You
removed.
Can see here, this small kink was focused on design side. And what happened when all the tests, because one thing important, the cars can look similar, but they are relentless in the development of GT-R. So they realized that this small kink was causing 1% of drag and affecting the aerodynamics. So I say, no way, we need to keep improving. So they eliminate that to make the airflow in that car have less drag and better conduction of the air to the rear wing. So that's about the GT-R passion. You go deep into the details.
Absolutely, that's awesome. I figured you guys may be interested because you saw this in the background, and it is pretty cool because again, this is, you know, a true right-hand drive. So there you guys have it. That is officially the end of this video.